Unreal Engine 5 is finally coming to Rocket League. The official date was just announced and it's going to be released on. I'm just kidding. I have no idea when Rocket League and Unreal Engine 5 is finally going to come out. I don't know, you don't know, and Psyonix is actually refusing to tell us or give us any information. They're probably working on it as we speak. But that's a great segue into today's video. I want to talk about a little bit of a wish list that I would like to see and some changes that Unreal Engine 5 can bring to Rocket League. It's still a talking point that we see within the community of Rocket League. I think we're actually starting to become a little bit desperate, and maybe talking about it will give us some optimism of what we can see when we actually do get the new engine. Right off the top of the bat, I think we're going to get some new visuals for the game. We're going to see the servers be approved a little bit because I think we're on an old engine and it's starting to have some issues, especially with newer systems coming out. Unreal Engine 3 is what Rocket League is currently on, and that was designed for Xbox 360 players. We're obviously much generations ahead of Xbox 360, so we are in a kind of a desperate need to see some improvements. But at the end of the day, Rocket League is a ranked esports game, and the big selling point for Rocket League is the ranked mode. I don't think the casual games that we see, the more fun extra modes, aren't going to be the reason why a lot of people play. Maybe there is a community for that, but typically it's all about grinding rank, and 98% of the players aren't going to become esports pro. Hate to break it to you, if you think that you are, keep grinding, but it's going to take a lot of work and hours to get into. And that would be a great segue for what I want to talk about, is because if this is a ranked game, we need to focus more on the mechanics and technical side of a game, not the visuals. And really, we just need more information on how we can get better as a player. I think a lot of ranked games don't give us enough information. Rocket League, you guys are pretty great with stats, but that's the first thing that I want to talk about with what Unreal Engine 5 can bring to Rocket League, and that is stat tracking. I give a lot of credit to different games and what they do, and I do play a wide variety of games, and I'm going to pinpoint some things that different games have as features that can be added to Rocket League to make this more of an immersive game. I can't believe I have to say this, but FIFA 23 does a really great job with adding stats. EA Sports, FIFA 23, and great job in the same sentence is kind of a surprise to me. But the first thing that I'd like to see added to Rocket League that FIFA does possess is a heat map and positions of players. A heat map will give us enough information to see if, like, whether a player spends too much time in the corner or spends too much time in the opposition's half. It will give us more information if we were actually, having a lot of control of the ball, or we were dominating the final third of the game. That would be some interesting stats to see as we progress into the ranked ecosystem. Those stats actually start to matter, because if you're going into a higher rank and you're progressing and you're getting dominated, you'd probably like to see those stats and what you can do to kind of break things up and make some different changes. And another thing that we see in the real soccer world and in FIFA is a expected goals rate and a stat for that. If you guys don't know what expected goals are, it's the quality of shot and what is the expectation of it actually going into the back of the net, counting as a goal instead of the ball getting saved. That's a big stat to see if, at the end of the game, are we actually putting quality shots on, and the opposing team did a really great job of saving the ball, or are we just doing really shitty shots and we're getting a credit for having a lot of shots on goal, but we're not actually converting them. And to add to XG, we should also see maybe a conversion rate at the end of the game menus instead of just shots on target versus goals. That would be a really cool thing to see. I'm a Rocket League player. I don't have time to do math. Let me see the conversion rate. And also passing. Technically, a pass is when you hit the ball and it goes to a teammate. That's considered a pass. I think if we actually add a passing stat at the end of the game for Rocket League, players are going to start to become obsessed with passing because they want to feel like they're doing a really great job contributing to the team. And if we are able to code the game where a player gets credit for passing, let's say they get 10 points, 20 points for hitting the ball and it goes to another teammate, that will be an incentive for players to change their behaviors in a way to get better at the game. Another thing that I would like to see is stats and how they compare with players with the equal amount of playing time, or the averages that players have. So let's say I have 1,800 hours played. where do I fall within the ecosystem of the ranks? For a player that has 1,800 hours played, am I doing really well? Am I in the top 10%, or am I in the middle of the pack, or am I at the bottom 10%? Typically, it's hard to calculate all of that, but if I can have like a kind of an idea of if I'm doing really well, that would probably be a little bit more motivating to keep pushing and keep trying to grind the rank. At the end of the day, for a player base to stay active, we need to become obsessed with climbing ranked. If we give some more information, that would probably help us feel like we're improving. So we should keep trying. I don't want players to feel discouraged, so that's why we should have maybe stats to add in. And going into another feature that might need to add some stats to is the club feature. I think the club feature is a really cool idea that Psyonix added when Epic Games took over, but we have not seen any update with that feature. The only immersive thing that we get with club is club colors. You get 2 colors to pick from, home and away, but that's the only information that we get on clubs. If we can see stats within the club, who's the top goal scorer, who assists the most, who has the most demos, I think that would be a very unique thing to add. It gives some bragging rights to some players who do a lot better. Obviously, the lower ranked people within the club aren't going to be too excited about that, but that would be a quite unique thing. Staying on the topic of club, when you go into a club match 1v1, it is a very enticing thing. I think it adds a little bit more of an incentive to try to get stuck in, to try to win. You're typically going to talk more trash when you're in a club versus club match. And I like that we have club colors, but typically when you go club versus club, your car can actually clash with colors. My main car that I have in Rocket League right now is green, but my club colors is black. So when I go in, it doesn't look right. Our color can be all black, and then have this bright, obnoxious green tires, and it doesn't look right. So what I'm adding to this conversation is saying that maybe when we go club versus club, give us actual club cars, not just club colors. Let us as a team decide what our cars are going to be, and let us have decals, toppers. We can make like an ecosystem or something like that where club versus club is more the entirety of the car that gets customized, not just the color itself. That would be a really cool thing to add. And to finish off with club, surprised that we don't have this feature now. It is training mode with your teammates. We desperately need that. Apex Legends does a really good job of going into what is called a firing range, and your entire queued up team can go into the firing range. We could do 1v1s. You can work together. You can work on different guns, different things, and repeat and grind and grind. Technically, we can, as teammates, go into a practice mode. You can technically go into a private match with bots, but you do have to reset after you score. Everybody goes back to normal, and then you get your countdown with your goal. But with the training mode, training is all about grinding, repetition, practicing, trying things. If it doesn't work, keep trying to figure things out. So you have to repeat. And we don't have that, which is kind of a surprise for us. I think we should honestly have it now, even in Unreal Engine 3. I think that's a feature that's desperately needed, because I have a friend who I do queue up with who is significantly lower in rank, and I want to train with him, but it's kind of hard when we are playing in ranked games because we really have to try. And over time, he will get better, but to have a one-on-one session with him to teach him things, that would be much more appreciated, and I think that would be a great feature. One more thing that I want to talk about before this video ends is tournament mode. Tournament mode is a great feature to kind of get away from ranked. I think what we experience in tournaments is kind of different, and what to expect from ranking system. Tournament mode gives us an opportunity to face different ranks and different styles of plays, a lot different from ranking system. But what I would like to see is maybe some sort of weekend league, kind of similar to what FIFA does. I know I keep referencing FIFA, but maybe like over the weekend, we have a certain amount of games, and the team with the most wins or the most points or the highest rank gets a nice reward, and we can make it a crazy incentive, like, oh, top team gets all titanium white octanes, non-tradable titanium white octanes, or this team gets very rare drops, like they get 10 of them, and each player gets this amount or this amount. That'd be kind of an interesting thing. So we kind of break away from just the 5-game tournament or whatever it is, or 6 games that we play. Why not give us the whole weekend as a club to go into, everybody in this like ecosystem of playing in this quote unquote weekend league? We all get to try different things and grind and grind and grind. And at the end of the day, whoever has the most points, you get capped out at a certain amount of games. So one team who has all the time in the world to play doesn't necessarily have the most points. I don't know. These are all just things that I would like to see added to Rocket League. Down in the comments, tell me what you would like to see. I didn't touch on every single thing that I thought would be a good idea. Try not to make this video too long. I'm already at 11-minute recording, which is so much longer than I expected. But anyways, down in the comments, let me know what you guys think. I'm out of here. Bye.